It's time to babble the fuck on. Live from the world-famous Improv, it's Hollywood Babble-On. With your hosts, Kevin Smith and Ralph Garman.
It is Friday night in Hollywood, so let's babble the fuck on. I'm Kevin Smith.
And I'm Ralph Garman. Thank you, wonderful people, for selling us out yet again here at the world-famous Improv. So far, we're 3 for 3, I think.
Is that right?
Yeah. Now we're fucked. You can only go down from here, man.
That's right. Well, is there anything after a three-peat?
Well, 4-peat, I guess.
That's too much expectation. I'd much rather keep the expectation low, man. I like to float rumors like, we're about to break up. I think it benefits the show. Can I share a quick Babble-On story? Babble-On-related story?
I would love that.
I was mentioning traveling. I was traveling today. At one point, I was leaving Atlanta. And was I in Atlanta or was it here?
Oh, how stoned are you?
Fucking, honestly, very. Because I was away for 2 days, 3 total, but 2 days of like foreign, very weak weed compared to like I came home and like California pure, and so I'm still learning.
That's
to function.
amazing.
Yeah, very much. I'm smoking Huel, man.
That was the name of Huel's show on PBS, California Amazing, I think, or California Pure. Yeah.
True. This dude, I went to the bathroom in the airport. I go to take a leak, man. I swear, as I'm heading into a stall, I think I hear somebody go, hey, hey. And I was like, holy shit, man. Like, I've always heard about this, but I might get some fucking toe tapping action. Like, somebody's trying to blow me here, man. Like, this is going to be interesting. So I closed the door, and what I wanted to do was change my shirt because I was, like, all sweaty and whatnot.
Are you Superman?
Yeah, totally. I was just like, they can't know. So I'm changing my shirt, and I hear again, excuse me. And then I'm like, don't be so bold as to assume it's for you. It wouldn't be for you.
You're in the stall at this point?
Yes. And I'm waiting for a knock, but it never fucking comes. And so I change my shirt and shit, and then I leave the stall. And when I leave the stall, there's a dude wearing plastic gloves, and he goes, don't be scared. I know who you are.
Time to check your prostate.
He looked like fucking Dexter, man. He was just like ready to go with the fucking plastic. And so I was like, oh, right on. How are you? And I assumed he meant like the movies or something, but fucking right away he goes, I love Hollywood Babble-On.
Hey, how about that?
Totally. And so I was like, I'm on my way home, man. I'm flying home, and tonight at 10, I actually do Babble-On. He goes, oh my God, could you just fucking say my name on Babble-On? And I was like, yeah, totally. And he told me his name, but I forgot. But I did write down his Twitter address, so I'll give you the Twitter address just in case you're curious. Because the thing is, he wanted to take a picture, and he had a phone.
Right.
But his was full. And so I was like, I'll take it, and then like I'll send it to you. You got an email address or something like that? And he gave me his Twitter page. And so I was just like, well, if you want to be on the show, I'll put the fucking picture on the show, and then you could get the picture off the Babble-On page, man. So his name is, he's at ANAWNNEMUS, Anonymous.
No one's ever going to tweet
Never
him
in
anything.
a million years. But this is the fucking picture that I did the selfie of us. Do you got it?
Yeah, you're right there. Was there any explanation as to why he was wearing plastic gloves in the bathroom?
I honestly didn't want to ask, but I didn't know if he was a food server or if he was actually working in the bathroom. But either way, I was like, probably not a good idea I felt like Howie Mandel was fist bumping and shit like
right.
that. But he never offered to take them off, so I guess he only had one pair or something like that. Nice guy, anyway, Anonymous on Twitter.
All right, there we go.
But it was weird. The bathroom hookup aspect of it was
not what you expected.
Not at
You
all.
must have been a little disappointed.
Yeah, I was looking for some glory hole action. And
Sure.
Instead, I just wound up taking a picture. But I was at the airport because I was coming back from Atlanta. I can't say a lot about it, but at the last minute, AMC was like, hey, do you want to go out to Atlanta to the Walking Dead set and shoot? I know. And shoot some interstitials. They're coming up on this an event. I don't even know how much I'm allowed to say. It's so crazy how fucking tight-lipped everyone is there. They keep a literal shroud of secrecy. They make you sign a lot of things and whatnot.
Except the zombies, they have no lips, I've noticed, most of them. They're just teeth.
They're just falling off.
Yeah.
Fucking file it.
That's how it's going to be. All right.
So I go to do the break, the bumpers, if you will, between like, hey, man, you're watching the marathon, stick around and stuff like that. I interview a lot of people behind the scenes. I met like almost the entire cast. I talked to people who work on it and whatnot. It was fantastic. But Gail Ann Hurd is the producer, right? And Gail Ann Hurd, if you don't know her, she's one of the most successful producers in the history of the movie business.
Yeah.
Not to mention one of the most successful female producers in the history of the movie business. I think she's only surpassed maybe by Kathy Kennedy in terms of like box office and stuff. So she goes as far back as Terminator. Like she dripping with geek movie history and whatnot. Now she's the producer of this show, of The Walking Dead. So while we're there, boom, I walk into her as she's coming out of the office, and she's like, oh, Kevin, you're here today. And I was like, yeah, I'd met her once before at a Comic-Con or something like that. So I was like, yeah, we're shooting all over. She's like, you going down to the jail? And I was like, yeah. She's like, if you're going to be down by the jail, she's like, you got to get bug spray on. And I was like, well, I'm pretty much covered from head to toe like a Muslim woman. So I don't know where else you would find. She's like, your legs, your calves are wide open. She goes here, and she's carrying this bottle, and she kneels down, and she starts spraying my fucking legs. And I'm just looking down, and I was like, if I could go back in time and tell the 13-year-old Kev Smith, the fucking lady who made the Terminator.
He's going to be putting off on you.
Yeah. Like a mom and shit. It was so amazing. And I was like, I could do that. And she's like, no, I know how to do it and stuff. I was like, thanks so much. And then later on, I interviewed her for the interstitials. But it was cool, man. You try to get a fucking one piece of information in regards to season 4.
Nothing.
No, and they're all terrified. Like the moment they get close to revealing something, like a fucking red dot shows up on their head, you just see sniper lawyers like, no. But it looks cool, and I did see there's some shit that we weren't allowed to point cameras at and we couldn't shoot in front of, but I did see some cool stuff about.
So you're going to ruin it all now?
No, because I don't want to get the call of like, we just canceled Comic Book Men. Loose lips sink ships, you fat fuck, click, But there's some cool shit that happens like coming right up there. I think they said they're on episode 4 or 5 or something like that in terms of shooting. But it looks like there's something cool coming. Like I'm actually excited, and they wouldn't tell me anything else. But I saw some shit where I was like, oh, they're always going someplace new with it. But it was rather exciting, man. I geeked out a little bit.
Can I guess? Can I guess what it is?
Yeah.
Brad Pitt shows up, and there's a lot more fucking zombies coming over the wall. And it's like,
did that open? Has that happened?
Opens today, I think, right? Tonight,
what's
World War Z?
World War Z.
World War Z.
What is the word thus far?
I haven't heard good things.
Really? Why would anyone... I just don't understand why anyone would bother making a zombie movie right now. It's zombies, right?
Yeah.
That's what the Z is.
Yeah.
Because in the trailer, they just show bodies. They don't show, like, we're undead, or they're just fast-moving zombies.
They're just fucking rock star zombies, yeah. Like Olympian zombies.
I just don't... in a world where we get to watch The Walking Dead... In a world. And they've got hours to tell a fucking story. And they still have the kills and whatnot. They just took a fucking head off with a cleaver and shit. And there's still the excitement, but it's all about the human drama. Why would you bother making a fucking movie where you got to pack everything into 2 hours? And the only thing you can offer, more than the character development and the effects they do on the show, and all the effects are pretty much real people walking around in makeup.
Right.
The only thing you could offer is like, we got millions of zombies, and they're all fucking digital and shit like that. It just seemed like a waste of time and effort, man.
Look, he's got 14 kids that need to eat, man. What are you going to do? Brother's got to make a buck. I can't hold it against Brad. He's got to make a living.
I think that was like that's the draw, right? It's a zombie movie with Brad Pitt. That's
right.
What makes it important.
Yeah.
But he had it for a while, correct?
Yeah. From what I understand, he developed the book. He read the book and loved it, and then he started developing it.
And that book came out a while ago.
Yeah.
Probably before the Walking Dead TV show started, I think.
Maybe, yeah.
So that's a matter of timing. Like, if he had gone first, people would be like, holy shit. But since it follows The Walking Dead, it feels kind of like redundant to me. I don't know. Anybody see it today?
Anybody seen it yet?
There it is.
It's one guy. There's your answer.
How was it, man?
And he's doing this. He's giving us this.
He silently put his hand up, and then he fucking silently was just like... he's like the little girl.
Was Brad Pitt any good in the film? When the zombies are unbelievable. How I felt about Man of Steel? Well, you really didn't like that zombie movie. Jesus. We won't get into that tonight.
It was so fucking creepy and quiet, man. He was wordless. He looked like the little girl from Schindler's List who's just like... I was like, holy shit, wrap up.
All right, let's get into the meat of things, shall we? Each and every week, we like to give shout-outs to people who come particularly long distances or are celebrating special occasions. You all right there, Sport?
It's all over the place. Cher's a little movie tonight.
It's a segment we call the shout-outs.
It's a shout-out with Kevin and Ralph, so get your cock out. Yeah. Get your cock out.
Get your cock out. You don't need to stop him anymore, man.
I don't know if we said it. Gabs, did you set it to not keep playing?
Where is she? Is Gabby around?
Gabby quit. It's cool. I'll stop.
All right.
Let's just see what happened, just to test.
Okay.
It's a good fucking thing, man. Now we got a little preview. Yeah, it's not set for that.
Okay, all
Don't
right.
worry. Oh God, we just showed everyone behind the curtain.
Yeah, that's okay. They still love us. Milena and Ian, are you guys here? Wow, right up front. My name is Milena, and my best friend Ian and I are here seeing Hollywood Babble-On live for the first time. I want to shout out to my beautiful girlfriend, Taylor. Yes, Ralph and Kev, just in case you couldn't put that together, I'm a vegetarian.
Oh.
Yeah. She's a hot vegetarian.
Yeah. They're all hot vegetarians, man. The moment anyone's like, I like pussy, I'm like, me too, high five.
Were you always a vegetarian? Did you ever dabble in, did you eat meat before you went total? You did, yeah? And it wasn't for you. A lot.
Enough to last a lifetime.
Taylor and I are going on 2 years now, and she is the Maggie Sawyer to my Kate Kane. Well, that's a little comic book reference.
Yeah.
There's just one problem. There was someone else. Taylor's been having a long, ongoing affair with a certain transvestite from transsexual Transylvania. I was hoping that perhaps if she heard Dr. Frankenfurter sing to her, it would keep her bed warm till I get back. Thanks a bunch for all the laughs and babble the fuck on, Milena. How do you do, I? See, you've met my faithful handyman. He's just a bit put out. Because when you knocked, he thought you were the candy man. I'm just a sweet transvestite from transsexual Transylvania. There you go. And to think my father was worried about me when I got into drama in high school.
You have the voice of an angel, man. I want you singing at my funeral. I want you to sing like that,
It'll be hard for McCoffin for me to be singing from your funeral. I'm going before you, I'm sure.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I eat like a fucking pig.
Yeah, but I'm so angry. I'm just going to burst into flames. I know just one day I'm just going to literally burst into flames. Just all the anger and angst will just consume my body. You know? Yeah. It'll be like scanners. It'll be like... My head will just explode one day. No, you're so mellow and stoned all the time and everything. You're not going to die so much as just slowly sort of melt.
That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the Yoda death, man, where I'm just like, I'm tired, and then fucking... And then you just lay down and you fucking drop some last-minute bombs and get the fuck out, man.
Yeah, I'm definitely going the Vader way.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, but that was he
Or
went
more like the Emperor. Someone's going to toss me over into a giant...
Yeah, he went heroic. He actually went pretty cool.
Vader? Yeah. I won't go that way. Ruth and Beth, are you guys here tonight? You are so fucking here. My name is Ruth, and I'm coming to the show tonight. With me is my friend Beth, who has never heard, not once, Babble-On or seen the show. Well, she should be enjoying herself by now. We both work at that theme park down in Anaheim.
You work at Knott's Berry Farm?
No. So some utter filth would be amazing to help us forget that we have to be super clean acting every day at work. I'm a huge fan of the show, but I decided to keep her in the dark about anything Babble-On until she came with me tonight. No. It's like the worst surprise ever. Kevin, could you please welcome Beth to the show and let her know exactly what she's in for in your creepy, sexy voice? Thanks for all the laughs for the past 3 years, Ruth.
Hey, Beth. Where are you at, girl? Oh, work that clitoris. Till that shit is bitterest. Let me give you a little taste of your home away from home, your Disney home. Let me take you to a little ride called It's a Small World. It's a small world after all. It's a small world after all. It's a small world after all. I like the little whimper. It's a small world. Welcome to Babble-On.
There you go. We are never getting the front of line of anything ever there, you know. Jason and Julia from Toronto, Canada. You guys here, eh? Oh, you look surprised. Yes, they look surprised. And here's why. Because this message came to me from your friend Shayna. She wrote this on your behalf. I want to send a shout out to my very good friends Jason and Julia, who have flown all the way to see your show from Toronto, Canada. Hopefully they won't be too shy to identify themselves. They were like this. When you call their names, and hopefully Julia won't kill me for sending this in. Julia and I are both longtime listeners and fans of the show. Her fiance, Jason, has never heard a complete episode. Wait a minute, a complete episode? So you started hearing some of it and said, fuck this, and turned it off? That's what I'm assuming, Jason.
He's like, I'm a huge fucking fan of It's a Small World, eh?
That's not funny, eh? That gave me hours of enjoyment, that ride. But he loves Batman and dick jokes. Well, there you go.
You're in the right place.
I was hoping that Bane and Arnold Schwarzenegger could welcome them to Los Angeles and give them some advice for planning their wedding. Well, who better to talk to about happy wedded bliss than Bane and Arnold Schwarzenegger?
I did not know I was a wedding planner.
Yeah, here's the thing about weddings. If you get married, then you can fuck a maid. It's amazing how it works out. You know, I was a Batman villain too, you know. Just like you, we have something in common that way. You and I were both like, you know, brothers from other mothers.
But no one cared who I was till I put on the mask.
It's a cold time in the old town tonight.
Nice to see you.
Welcome, yes, for all the way from Toronto. We got to get up there. We got to do a Toronto show.
I agree completely.
Yeah. This is Michael and Todd. Are you guys in the house tonight? Chewbacca's here tonight. We're Khloe Kardashian. Yeah, right. Your sister just gave birth. Shouldn't you be back at the hospital? She'll eat it. They had to keep Khloe away from the newborn. She's like a hamster. Todd writes, one of my oldest friends, Michael, will be celebrating his 31st birthday at the show this Friday. We've known each other since second grade. I haven't liked anyone for that long. Our friendship was forged with the power of comic books and Star Wars. We cannot ask for
God, this is going to make me cry. I wish we had
really
sad
stoned.
Hulk music. We don't. Fuck. I'll look for it. You keep reading, man.
Okay. We could not ask for a better event than HBO to celebrate this joyous occasion. A bunch of our friends have come out tonight to bask in all of your babbling glory. Some of us have known each other from our high school days, and we have gotten older, and some of us have moved away and started other chapters in our lives. If you could please give my friend Michael a Bowie birthday song, we'd really appreciate it. Thanks, Todd. That's the least we could do for you guys, considering you came all this way for Michael's 31st birthday. How many of you are you? That whole table? Are any of you putting it in each other? This guy's grabbing a girl, maybe later. Well, I wish you all the best. All right, so happy birthday, Michael, from Todd and the gang, David Bowie. Here we go.
Happy birthday to you, Michael. Happy birthday to you, Michael.
It's your 31st birthday, and your friends sound like geeks and nerds.
They all love comic books, and they love Star Wars.
Happy birthday to you, Michael. Thanks for spending your evening with us.
Happy birthday to you, Michael.
Happy birthday to you, Michael. You and Todd have known each other since the second grade way back. Happy birthday to you, Michael. Happy birthday. Stop it.
Happy birthday.
It's my least favorite part of everything.
I'm getting good with it, though. I could spin it and, like...
I was like, there's a life for you in the circus.
I'm trying to do a cat's cradle with it next time.
This last email came from Galvin Davis in Sydney, Australia, the final email, and he asked for a specific bit that we've actually even got a theme song for now. He wanted to hear a ranting Christian Bale do something, so I think it's Bale time.
No! No! Fuck! No! Oh, da-da-da-da! Oh, da-da-da-da! Fucking hell! Oh, good for you! No! Big time! Fucking...
Wait a minute.
Adorable, man. Who did that?
What?
Who did that? That's so cute.
We've played that before.
Really?
Yeah.
Continue.
You should listen to the show sometime. It's very entertaining.
But I get to rediscover it every week. I'm like, wow, this is funny.
Galvin Davis from Sydney, Australia. Are you here? Where are you, Galvin? Right there in the back. All the way from Sydney, Australia. So I felt obligated to fulfill his request. Came all the way from Sydney, Australia to Babble the Fuck On. I've listened to every single Hollywood Babble-On and knew that my trip to Los Angeles had to include witnessing the dynamic duo in the flesh. I'd like to request a movie franchise crossover bitch fight. Can we hear ranting Christian Bale and Harrison Ford argue whether Hans shot first or not? This is going to be a little difficult, Galvin. I was going to pass, but you came all the way from Australia, so I'll give it a try. Okay, here we go.
I shot first.
Oh, good for you! Oh, you shot him first! Oh, la-ti-da-ti-da-ti-da-ti-da!
I was in Star Wars.
No! 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 I saw it! It was Jar Jar Binks!
I was in the good Star Wars.
Fuck you! You and I are done professionally, mate. There you go. There's your crossover. We also get emails from all around the world each and every week.
Ain't no drag.
Garvin's got an email bag!
Featuring Kevin's reactions.
All right. Speaking of Han Solo, Tony Vargas writes, I read somewhere that Al Pacino was once up for the role of Han Solo. Is this true? Actually, I did a little research, and he was in London last week, and he did an evening with Al Pacino, and he talked about all the roles that he didn't accept that he was offered.
Okay.
And apparently one of them, George Lucas asked him to be Han Solo in the Star Wars films.
I think I'd heard that once before.
He was also offered the Brando and Martin Sheen roles in Apocalypse Now that he passed on, and Richard Gere's role in Pretty Woman. It would have been a very different film.
Say hello to my little friend.
I paid for you, so blow me.
Credits. It was a very short film. But yes, Tony, apparently Pacino was offered Han Solo. He was wondering what that might sound like, he
Me
said.
as well.
Yeah.
Ooh-ah. The Millennium Falcon made the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs. Ooh-ah. Come on, kid. Let's blow this thing and go home. Ooh-ah.
Yeah, I don't think it would have been as good with Al Pacino. Kristen in Australia writes, "Good day from down under. I was browsing the internet and I stumbled across something I thought Kevin would like, a delicious chocolate treat that he would especially be interested in, given what he likes to do." Well, for those of you who don't know, who are new to the show, Kevin is a guy who likes to eat... No, you evil bastards. He likes to...
If anyone was going to say everything, why did it have to be people in the front?
He likes analingus. He likes to perform. He likes to enjoy your wife's bottom.
I'm an ass eater.
Yeah. So Kirsten in Australia found this on the internet, and she thought she would like this. It's a chocolate treat made for men like you, I think. Can we show the picture up from the internet? This is a real thing. This is from the UK. It's called Edible Anus, and it is chocolate assholes. But it's pure Belgian chocolate. So while you're eating the chocolate sphincter, you can enjoy the fact that you're eating a pure Belgian chocolate sphincter. And it comes in 3 shades, too. It comes in just wiped, wiped too hard, and hasn't wiped at all yet.
We need to get them as a sponsor.
EdibleAnus.com? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll have to work on that.
Everybody go buy some chocolate assholes.
So,
that's the best kind of asshole to have around you, one made of chocolate.
she didn't know if you had seen that or not, but she thought you might enjoy it.
I have seen it many times. I've never gotten a box. Hint.
Yeah. Christmas is a-coming.
Becoming a lot harder if I'm eating chocolate assholes.
This is an email from a guy named Doug Hoxter Jr. Doug did a very cool thing. He said, "I'm going to post uncut episodes of Hollywood Babble-On on YouTube, but I'm going to stick whatever pictures or videos are included in the show throughout the course of it." So a lot of people say to us, how can we see the pictures and videos that you guys show to the live audience when they listen to the podcast? And we always post it if you go to smodcast.com and you go to the Hollywood Babble-On page and you click on the episode. If you click on the number, it has all the photos and all the videos that we show during the show. But what he's done is he's run the audio underneath, and then he's laid all the stuff on top of it so you can watch it on YouTube in one sitting.
It'd be better if you did it on our channel rather than stealing our content and putting it on his channel. And because he puts fucking our pictures under it as well, that seems like theft to me, no? Especially because he's putting on his YouTube channel, you get enough hits on that, they give you some fucking money and shit. I mean, I'm not one of those cats that's like, don't bootleg, because I used to get bootlegs back in the day, but like, I'm still alive, bitch. Like, this is all I got is this fucking Babble-On show, man. Don't take that away from fucking me and Ralph.
Well, Doug, you'll be hearing from our lawyers. That's what I wanted to say. Yes.
Just do it for our channel. If you do it for our channel, we'll throw him a couple bucks every week to do it. I love that shit, man. Just do it for us.
All right.
I'll give him shit in advance. Like, we'll give him the podcast in advance so that by the time the podcast drops, the YouTube episode can drop as well.
Yeah. Even as stoned as you are, you're a smart guy. That's very smart.
I am. I'm just like, there's no point in fighting it. Like, you can't fight the creative urge. This dude loves our art so much.
Well, he says he likes to watch it on his Xbox, which has a YouTube app, so he can sit there and sit
He
there
loves
and watch
our shit. It makes him want to make his own shit. And you don't want to, like, stifle that and be like, fucking don't do it or we'll sue you. What you want to do is fucking recruit him and be like, help us do it. And fucking we'll work together and shit like that.
Right.
Seems more democratic.
Doug, you'll be hearing from Kevin. He'll be stopping by your house, and he'll be carrying a big box of chocolate assholes as a present, and hopefully that'll be the start of a relationship.
Me and Jay will be at his front door dressed in costume and shit. As soon as he opens the door, he'll be like, that shit's ours.
This email comes from Mike K. Purr. He said, in honor of Man of Steel doing such box office business last weekend.
You got a dick in your mouth? Yeah.
I'm a little too sober.
Yeah, that'll help.
He sends us a link to the most hilarious bootleg Superman toys ever.
Okay.
This is a great site. I want to send you a couple pictures from this. It is Superman toys. Some are legitimate. Most of them are bootlegged. It's at flavorwire.com. You can check it out yourself, but I brought in some of the highlights for me. Since Man of Steel is such a big deal. This is an actual Superman toy. This was a legitimate one. This had the licensing and everything. This is the Superman Fly-'em-High parachute. The only problem with this toy is Superman doesn't need a fucking parachute. He flies.
Well,
this is a bad toy.
What if he was flying and suddenly it was a very overcast day, there was no sunlight, and he's like, powerless, need the parachute? Then it makes sense. I can make it work,
toy.
Man. That could work.
I personally enjoy the knockoffs. I like the bootleg toys. I like the ones that are done in Mexico or China where they're trying to make a buck. It's very entertaining. Like this next one. This is Super Heroic Man. And you know Metropolis is safe because he's on his horse with his lariat. So in case, Brainiac comes along, he can just throw a noose around it.
That was from a Dark Knight figure, an Elseworlds Dark Knight figure, and they just put a Superman cape and head on it.
Yeah, and a mullet, apparently.
Yeah.
And then my personal favorite, Superman, of course, longtime member of the Justice League. But if you want to make a Justice League toy, I'm guessing that probably costs you a couple bucks. If you want to put Justice League of America on the toy.
Heavens, yes.
So these people found a way around it. This is not the Justice League. This is the Sense of Right Alliance. And I want to be a member of the Sense of Right Alliance because its members are one of the cars from Cars, Superman, Batman, of course, Spider-Man has joined in, the Blue Power Ranger, and Shrek, of course, because you want to round out your crime-fighting team with someone who knows the swamps.
Fuck you, man. I would take that fucking team over the Avengers. They got Hawkeye. These motherfuckers have Shrek.
Donkey's like, why aren't I on the team? I should be on the team too. Shrek?
Who's this now?
Donkey.
How would Al Pacino sound as Donkey?
Ooh-ah. Oh, Shrek. That princess. She's also a troll. Ooh-ah.
The ladies up front are like, look at his face. That's my
Weird
favorite
things
part.
are happening. Michael M. writes, the new Captain America is going to come out someday soon. I think it's next year, Mike. I was wondering about you and Kevin having an opinion whether Cap is still a virgin or not. I say yes. I believe he has the 40s virtues and won't have sex until marriage. My friend says no, he isn't a virgin. He says after saving the world in Avengers, he gets it every day. What are your thoughts?
He doesn't get Cap, man. I agree. I think Cap is a virgin still.
No way he's not. He's not a virgin.
What do you mean?
I'm saying he's not a virgin.
Oh.
In my opinion. I don't have any factual evidence. I don't have photos of him banging someone. There's no selfies. There's no selfies with Cap and, Scarlett Johansson going at it. I'm just saying. He knew he was going into battle, right? He knew he was going into fight. Even back in the 40s in World War II, he knew he might go into a mission he might not come back from.
I'm just taking your Christmas gift back in my head.
I'm just saying, he's going to say, look, he's going to run into one of these nurses or female shield agents or something and say, listen, I might not come back from fighting Red Skull, you know. So, speaking of skull...
How'd you like to do a little battling of your own with Hydra?
So I think he probably got some before he got frozen in the ice. That's what
No
I'm
way.
guessing.
I think he's virgin.
Pussy. Not you, Cap, if that's the case. Yeah. Jose Vasquez writes, been a fan of the show. He's been a fan of Kevin's for a long time. New fan of Ralph's. My son introduced me to Hollywood Babble-On a couple months ago, and I've been through all the podcasts now. I found the Germans bit especially funny every time I hear them. Every time I hear them, I think of a different picture. I'm not quite sure what they look like, but I've made a poster of a movie perhaps they could star in. I hope you'd get a kick out of it. Jose Vasquez, here's the photo that he put together for a film version of what he thinks the Germans look like. It's called The Naughty Nazis, and it's Kevin and me and Molly the Monkey, Justin Bieber's monkey, all together in Spank the Monkey is the name of the film.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good movie. I think we should go see that.
Yeah, I like being Clink.
Actually, you're Sergeant Schultz. I'm Clink.
Oh, my God, that's right.
Yeah. And you kind of have that, I see nothing, look on your face.
I fucking live my life by that mantra, man. I see nothing.
And I'm like, oh, Colonel Hogan.
Yeah, that was my favorite show.
Speaking of the Germans, Gary Price in Arizona has a suggestion for the Green Lantern Oath as the German, so I think it's Green Lantern Oath time.
In brightest day, in blackest night, Ralph's impressions shine most bright. The oath will make the crowd go mental if it's not fucked up by Ryan Reynolds. Ralph's Green Lantern Oath.
For those of you non-geeks in the audience, of course, the Green Lantern, when he wants to recharge his power ring, the superhero, he has to say a certain oath in order to get it to recharge, and that is something we've been reciting now for many episodes. This request from Gary Price says, Germans plus Green Lantern Oath equals fucking awesome.
Let's see.
So it's a duet. It's you and me doing the Green Lantern Oath, which we just take turns back and forth, and then we'll chime in at the end together as the Germans, shall we? Okay. You want to start, or you want me to start?
You can start.
Okay. In brightest day.
Yeah, it's very bright.
In blackest night.
Someone hand me a candle.
The night schwarze is so black. Blackest night. No evil shall escape our sight.
Yeah, because we are the ultimate evil.
Yeah, we are, yes. So we know it when we see it,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
That's why it doesn't escape our sight.
We know our own.
Yeah, we do. Let those who worship evil's might.
Yeah, a.k.a. the Jews. One lone dude. Jesus.
Thank God somebody here has some taste.
That's it. Like, he was gone. That was pretty funny.
Let those who worship evil smite.
Yeah.
Beware my power.
Yeah. You have the power of the ghost.
Green Lantern's light.
Blink.
That was less than I expected.
Yeah, that was
He
good.
goes, Jesus.
Christ. Every week we like to say goodbye to some folks in show business who have left us too soon.
fuck.
Yeah, this week
Everybody knows this
week's
one.
particularly tough. We're going to save him for last, so we got a couple other people to give salutes to before we move on. It's called Tinseltown Stiffs.
And now another edition of Tinseltown Stiffs. They will be missed.
Few people left us this week, including Bernie Solins. You may not know the name, but you know what he did. He co-founded a comedy troupe in Chicago known as Second City. He was the guy who put Second City together.
Yeah.
Bernie Solins died this week at the age of 90. He co-founded Second City in 1959, and throughout the years, I'll give you a list of some of the talents who passed through those doors. Alan Arkin, Alan Alda, Peter Boyle, David Steinberg, Robert Klein, John Belushi, Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, Gilda Radner, Eugene Levy, Andrea Martin, John Candy, Martin Short. The list goes on and on and on. He went on. He founded it in Chicago, and then he moved to Toronto. They built a second City in the early 70s.
That's where Dan Aykroyd and Gilda Radner came from.
That's where those guys were put together, and they also had Eugene Levy and Andrea Martin and Catherine
Dave Thomas as well.
Dave Thomas, Catherine Kawahara, Martin Short, John Candy, and he also developed, along with a producer named Alexander, a show called SCTV. And I know SNL gets all the attention; it's been on forever and everything. But when I was in college, for me and my friends, SCTV was the shit. I mean, that was the thing we loved watching. And
they were sketch comedy that wasn't stage based so much. There was no audience, so they would shoot their pieces. They had far more liberty.
It was all TV spoofs, basically.
Pretty much set in Mellonville.
Mellonville, yeah. And I remember watching Martin Short do Ed Grimley, which was a character that he created, of course.
Before he took to SNL,
yeah,
it was there.
He did it on SCTV and all those different characers. So this guy is known as the patron saint of a lot of
That's where Bob and Doug McKenzie came from.
That's right. It came from that too.
Great White North came from there, from the Second City TV. Wow, this dude. So without this dude, you and I don't see all these people and go, oh my God, maybe we can do that.
Let's do that.
Yeah, like this guy gave him a home, someplace to go be fucking weird and be experimental and do comedy that was outside of like wearing a suit on a stage talking about fucking weather and cities and shit. These cats were so experimental, they busted the mold completely, and without, what's his name? Bernie Solins?
Bernie Solins is his name, yeah.
Well, I was just,
He wasn't. He was the man behind the curtain.
The man behind the mask.
That's why I wanted to give him a special shout out.
And that's what Tinseltown Stiffs is about.
Yeah.
Huge bucket of win, man.
He's a great fellow, I must say, if I say so myself.
Okay. Had to do my Ed Grimley. I love doing that. Yeah. Not bad. Slim Whitman passed away this week. I can't believe that anyone even knows who the fuck Slim Whitman is. I'm shocked.
Your fucking mind.
He was an Indian brave.
Whitman? Is that Slim Whitman?
Slim Whitman was the yodeling cowboy.
That's right.
That's who he was, yeah.
He was the guy who sold albums at midnight before, like...
He was the first, big star of selling records in commercials and infomercials on television. But here's the thing. That's how most people know him. But he was a star in the 40s and 50s. It was like a huge, massive country western star. Elvis Presley used to open for him in the 50s. That's how big he was.
Holy
the
crap.
Beatles were huge fans of his. He had been a recording artist since 1949, sold 65 million records before he ever got to television, but his star waned. And so to revive his career, he went on television, which made him successful, but at the same time kind of a joke because this guy had horribly dyed jet black hair and a pencil mustache and suits that Liberace would think were gay. And he had this yodeling voice, and he went on late night television, but ended up selling hundreds of millions of records via the power of television. That's
Who's
how most
fucking
people know.
laughing now, man?
Well, not him. He's dead. But and remember Mars Attacks, the movie, the Tim Burton movie, Mars Attacks.
That's what
his Indian love go. When I'm calling you, their heads would explode. Remember? Anyway, here's a little piece of the Slim Whitman commercial that many of us grew up watching late at night. Here's the man himself who passed away this week at 90.
Will I walk again with you? Now the magic of Slim Whitman is back in his beautiful, all-new 2-record collection, Best Loved Favorites.
I remember the night and the roses.
Yeah, he's all gone now.
You guys don't get it. It was such a simpler time where literally you could be like, stand against those trees and pretend to sing.
That's right.
And we'd all be captivated by that commercial. Like,
everybody would jot down the number.
Yes, and you had to call. It wasn't like simply click on this and fall down the rabbit hole. You had to do a little
And you couldn't
work.
pause that commercial. There was no DVR. You had to wait and carefully, 800, fuck, I missed it. Now I got to wait again until it comes back on again. Now how do I order my Slim Whitman album? Trust me, kids, it was a nightmare back when we grew up. It was horrible.
And you always got somebody on the other side of the phone who was just like, why do you want this?
Yeah.
You kidding me? He's the yodeling cowboy.
And, of course, lastly, this week, everyone was stunned and shocked at the news that James Gandolfini passed away this week at the age of 51.
Yeah. We understand that the clapping is for
I'm
him.
hoping it's for James, not for the
early passing.
Died of apparent heart attack in Rome. The hardest part of the story for me was that his teenage son, who he was traveling with at the time, was the one who discovered him at the time. And I wish that on no child. He was at a film festival in Sicily, apparently vacationing with his
Taormina.
son.
I went to that film festival with Red State. It's beautiful. It's on Sicily. It's like on a mountaintop in Sicily with this giant open air, what do they call those things? Amphitheater. Oh, it's gorgeous. And the amphitheater was built like in 800 BC or some such shit. It's nuts, going crazy old. But a beautiful town, man. And he was up there for a retrospective of his work. They were going to show a bunch of good, episodes of The Sopranos and whatnot. So he was there to watch some of the older stuff he's done, or the stuff that put him on the map, made him massively famous. He was right the night before, I think it was, he died before he ever saw it. Such a bummer.
He was Tony Soprano, of course, from 1999 to 2007, when won the Emmy for Best Actor in a Drama 3 consecutive years in a row. He was nominated 6 times in total, and did a lot of great work in film too. A lot of people look over the fact that he was great in True Romance, of course.
That's the first place I saw him was in True
that's what
Romance.
I remember.
He had that soul, even though he was like an assassin. And he has that moment with Alabama where he's like, "You got heart, kid. Go ahead." And he opens his shirt, take a shot. Stabs his foot. Yeah. But that was where I first saw him. And then also he was in the submarine movie.
Crimson Tide?
Crimson Tide.
Get Shorty, I remember him in that as well.
But when they cast him as Tony Soprano, man, like from just that opening sequence of the Jersey Drive, he commanded authority and had played this weirdly complex character. I mean, you think of it now as like throw a rock, you hit a show where it's like the hero is a dirtbag. But this was like the first one. The first time they presented you with somebody who was like, oh my God, he's fucking vile, but you're rooting for him. It would be like watching Star Wars and being like, this is all about Vader, bitch. I'm back in Vader's place. So, and it was his soul that did it, that it brought.
Well, he was also enormously charming as an actor.
Yeah.
He loved his family, regardless of what he did at work. He loved his wife. He loved his kids. Tony Soprano, I'm talking about.
Yeah,
that was the level of the character. I brought in a clip just as a tribute. This is one of my favorite moments from The Sopranos. This is him being enormously lighthearted with his psychotherapist, Dr. Melfi, who played by
Lauren Bracco.
Lauren Bracco, yeah. And I thought it was the humor and the humanity that he brought to the character that was what made it so successful. Here's a little scene of James Gandolfini in The Sopranos.
We talked about that when you started. Some people get insomnia, others stomach ache or headaches, but it usually passes.
Are there any other side effects that you know of?
Some people experience a diminished libido. They have a hard time getting or maintaining.
Bingo.
I see. Not all impotence is a result of the medication.
You saying there's something wrong with me?
When's the last time you had a prostate exam?
Hey, I don't even let anybody wag their finger in my face.
Great moment. 51 years old.
He was from New Jersey as well. Not only was the character a Jersey icon, but he was actually from the Garden State as well. And by all reports, like an insanely sweet fucking guy. I think, did we do the Hollywood Helper where he was helping somebody out of the snow?
Yeah, we did do
fairly
that.
recently. And also, people I know worked with him. Ben worked with him at one point. Ben was just like, oh my God, what an amazing dude he was. All heart and stuff. He was looking out for Ben at a good time. Really nice guy.
Big bucket of win, as you would say.
Huge cauldron of win.
And we also each week like to look at showbiz celebrities who are able to get out of the way of their own ego and their own self-interest and help other people. It's a segment we call the Hollywood Helpers.
More margaritas.
Hollywood Helper. Hollywood Helper. Hollywood Helper.
Come on now.
Hollywood Helper.
Yeah. John Malkovich is one of this week's Hollywood Helpers. Did you hear this story in Toronto, what this guy did?
No.
He's doing an opera on the road, and he's touring around Canada with it. It's he plays shit. He doesn't play shit.
He can play anything,
No.
man.
No. He plays Casanova. Thank you so much. Casanova. I was trying to think of the name. And he's at the theater, and he's outside having a cigarette break, and this guy's walking down the street, this guy from Detroit, used to work for General Motors with his wife. He's retired now. And he trips on the sidewalk, and he falls into a scaffolding, a construction scaffolding there on the street. And the way he falls, his throat falls in between two pieces of scaffolding.
Oh.
And the jagged scaffolding tears his throat open.
Oh, fuck. Ow, man. Canada is a fucking wonderland of hell.
Yeah. It's
Danger
the deadliest
everywhere.
country in the world. And they don't promote that when the tourism board is trying to get you to go there. But
Really?
it'll kill you, Toronto.
Look out for our scaffolding, eh?
Yeah. So he's there, and he's smoking a cigarette, and the guy's bleeding out there in front of him. And I'll never forgive him for this. He puts the cigarette out. Douchebag. That costs money, by the way, those
That's
cigarettes.
true. Especially in Canada. It's
But
double.
that's right, the players, they're expensive. So he throws that out, and he goes over, and he administers first aid to this guy, stops the bleeding, puts pressure on the wound, and another guy comes up with a towel, and he puts it on there, and they were able to keep him stable until paramedics could arrive and got him to the hospital. The man is okay, he will survive. But they said if Malkovich hadn't been right on the scene
hadn't intervened.
and helped as quickly as he did, the guy would not have made it. So,
Fucking Alcatraz.
yeah.
Well done, man.
To which I show you, cigarettes save lives. I've always said that as I'm outside smoking. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Let's all light up. What do you say right now? No, we can't do that in America anymore. This fucking country's gone to hell, man.
I'm just thinking of Alcatraz saving that dude's life, and as they're taking him away, he's like, pay that man his money.
And our other Hollywood helper is Robert Downey Jr.
Oh! I love Robert Downey Jr. I just watched,
sweet man.
Right before I came here, I was rewatching Iron Man 2, which some people will try to tell you it's not very good. I like Iron Man 2 a lot, man.
I do too.
He is just fucking golden.
He's one of those performers who just makes everything he's in entertaining,
So
even
charming.
the worst of his films.
And it's just, you know what it is too? Aggregated practice. You're talking about a dude who's been doing it since he was a kid. And so he's like a fine-tooth comb, man. He's like a sharp fucking razor. So by the time like the Avengers Iron Man comes around, nobody could be Tony Stark but Robert Downey.
Yeah, he
Jr.
was ready to go.
He's so damn good.
He's filming a new movie right now in Western Massachusetts called The Judge, and there was a woman named Heather Deno whose 1.5-year-old son is a huge Iron Man fan, and they found out they were in his neighborhood, and so she took her son to go meet Iron Man. And so she goes and she gets to the set and she says, my son loves Iron Man. Was it possible for Mr. Downey Jr. to have a conversation with my son? So Robert Downey Jr., busiest superstar in the world probably right now, said, yes, sure, I'll say hi to your 1.5-year-old son. So mom says, you're going to meet Iron Man. And so they take him back and the kid meets Robert Downey Jr. And at 1.5, that's not the same fucking thing. And we've got a photo of their interaction of what happened when 1.5-year-old Jackson met Robert Downey Jr. The look on Robert Downey Jr.'s face is like, fuck.
It just looks like a fucking photo,
I'm the biggest star. I have to put up shit from a 1.5-year-old. Give me a bad review.
This looks like a photo of me and my old lady after fucking.
Are you the one crying, or are you the one with a disgusted look on your face?
I'm the one with the hand on the back like, sorry.
It'll be okay.
I'm not Iron Man.
After this photo was taken, apparently, Robert Downey Jr. picked the kid up and had a long conversation with him and explained to him the whole situation, and by the end, the mom says they were the best of friends by the time they parted.
That's adorable, man.
So that made me feel better. But Robert's like, really? And what are you doing letting your 1.5-year-old watch Iron Man anyway? That's probably what he's thinking. Every week.
The only way that story gets even better is if the 1.5-year-old was like, what the fuck did you guys do to the Mandarin?
I love that character. You marginalized him. It's unacceptable.
Spoilers.
Every week, we like to take a look at moments in TV and movies that slip through the cracks. Hundreds of pairs of eyes see every project you see before it gets to you, and yet still, there's shit that should not be.
And now for shit we should not see. Here's some shit that should not be.
This week's shit that should not be is appropriate because it comes on the heels of the release of Man of Steel. Of course, Rob Patton of Ayrshire, Scotland, writes in that he was watching Superman 2, the original cinematic appearance of General Zod. And he said, I noticed in the fight scenes where Superman is fighting with General Zod, Ursa, and Nan in the streets, something seems a little off with the spectators. And I've noticed this myself in that film. Have you caught this scene yourself?
Many times.
Here's a quick video shot of Superman 2 while Christopher Reeve's Superman is battling Terrence Stamp as General Zod. You may not catch the shit that should not be in this scene while we watch it, but we've got a still store for you, so take a look at Superman 2.
Then die as you deserve to.
Did you catch it? Did you catch what was all fucked up about that scene? Let's throw the scene up so you notice it, because I know I did when I watched it. Can we show the picture of that one moment of the spectators looking at Zod battling Superman? Yeah. Look. All of the words in the scene are totally fucking backwards.
They reverse the shot.
They reverse the shot to get everyone looking in the direction of Zod and Superman. And it says, no, instead of no entry. And I remember watching it, even in the theater, I was like, what did I just see? What is this, Bizarro World? Did he already go, did we spin the world backwards already? And now I'm seeing shit that's upside down?
Bad bye, Lois.
Made me furious.
That is still a great movie, man. That holds up. But if you remember that the big battle between him and General Zod and two other henchmen,
Ursa and Nan,
they destroy a Coca-Cola sign.
Yeah.
Maybe a gas truck, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And that wall, and that's it. It's not like the fucking 40-minute building smashing.
No, it's not.
Fucking orgy of the current.
It's not nearly
one,
the
man.
death toll in Metropolis that was in Man of Steel. That's absolutely true. It's a twofer this week because while we're talking about shit that should not be, we also do a segment we call Exquisite Acting, where A-list actors turn in less than A-list performances. And this week's star of that is Terrence Stamp, who played General Zod, of course, in that.
To be or not to be, that is the question.
Welcome to the world of exquisite acting with Ralph Garman and Kevin Smith.
Peter Brooker of the UK sends in, I thought you'd like to see this short clip of Terrence Stamp in The Limey. He, of course, played General Zod in the original Superman films. I thought this scene would also make a wonderful ringtone, he writes. I think Terrence Stamp is a brilliant actor. He's been for a long time. He does chew up the scenery a bit in a film called The Limey, which, if you've never seen, from 1999, Steven Soderbergh directed it. It's about a British gangster who finds out that there's a guy who killed his daughter, basically, and he goes after him with a vengeance, as you can imagine.
It's really good. It's gripping stuff.
Very gripping, but sometimes larger than life. This particular moment with Terrence Stamp, again, who played General Zod, is particularly entertaining for me. Here's a scene from The Limey from 1999.
You tell him! You tell him I'm coming! Tell him I'm fucking coming!
That would be a great ringtone. I'm fucking coming!
I'm going to try that out tonight when I get home.
You should, yeah. Less of the Robert Downey Jr. with the little boy and more of Terrence Stamp, I think, in your bedroom is what you need.
I agree, man.
Yeah. Every week, we also like to take a look at moments where Kevin is inserted into situations he does not belong. It's a segment we call Kev In.
What's Kev in today? Something crazy or awesome or gay? And by gay we mean homosexual, like maybe some dude's butt. What's Kevin?
What's Kevin this week? Well, here's the thing about this week. It was weird. It was just like there was some sort of unspoken memo that went around. And a lot of the pictures the guy sent in this week were not of Kevin in places he doesn't belong, but of me in places I didn't belong.
Garm-in?
It's Garm-in this week. And if you'll allow me, I just wanted to show these because I thought it was weird that this week all of a sudden there was a bunch of photos that came in featuring me in places that were odd to see me.
There aren't enough fucking pictures of you in the world, man. Inserted into things, as far as I'm concerned.
Matt writes, I know Hollywood Babble-On has the What's Kev In segment, but this week I'd like to suggest a moment be set aside for What's Garmin. This is a movie that he imagines me in with, Emma Stone. You know how I feel about Emma Stone. Yeah. So here is his poster for the new feature film. It's a remake, actually, of the Michael Douglas film Romancing the Stone. This is Garmancing the Stone. Yeah, this is. I like that. It's a lot hotter than Kathleen Turner, that's for sure.
You're so full of hope.
I know. I would destroy her if I had a chance. Nathan Gonzalez writes in, I'm suggesting a recurring segment for the show called Glugging with Garmin, where Ralph drinks with famous people throughout history, which is an idea. He suggested this scene from Casablanca would be appropriate to start things off. Just me and Bogey and Sam sitting there in the cafe getting loaded. I look shit-faced, too, by the way. Bogart looks better than me in that, and he's dead. And then the last one is a tribute to my now sadly departed mustache. It's from Pat Evans. He said in order to memorialize my mustache, Garmin PI is the last film.
Nice,
there.
nice.
It wasn't a porn stash. Speaking as a man who till recently owned a mustache, I resent the assumption that a man who wears a mustache is immediately some sort of pedophile or porn star. It was hurtful.
I don't think of either of those things when I think of mustache. All I think is cum catcher.
All right, well, so bad. Each week, we like to look at what's happening in show business news with the HBO headlines.
Give me head, give me head, give me headlines, and give me head.
Well, Kris Jenner has another whore in her stable.
Oh, a baby is a blessing. In most cases.
Yeah, it's most cases. Fuck tape star Kim Kardashian and Kanye West had their baby this week.
You gotta give it up too, man. I'm like not giving them credit, but she's gone from a fuck tape to like now everyone knew that she had a baby and we're waiting to hear the baby's fucking name. That's a pretty fast climb, man. They're simply fucking.
I heard there were 3 guys at Cedars-Sinai with gold, frankincense, and myrrh who actually were waiting outside in the hallway. That's how significant she's become. Do we have a little taste of the Kim Kardashian theme before we get started?
Naturally.
Kim Kardashian, who gives a fuck?
Well, the world does, because we're all waiting to hear what she named her baby. The baby came several weeks earlier than her July 11th due date. Okay. Everybody's saying, what are they going to name this baby girl that Kanye and Kim had? And an official word came out today. It is Northwest.
As one word or two? Disappointed.
Disappointed!
Is it one word or her first name's North, middle name's West?
No middle name. First name North, last name West. Because Kanye West, of course.
I didn't even see the fucking pun.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man.
So it's North, no middle name, West.
Northwest. That's cute, actually.
No, stop it.
Why? Well, I mean, it could have been something.
You're part of the fucking problem. You see, this is you and your all-accepting attitude. Sure, let everyone do whatever the fuck they want. They named her North. They named the child a direction. Stop the madness.
No.
This poor child is going to be named after a compass point, and you're like, well, that's kind of cute. It's not cute.
I named my kid after a comic book character.
That's fine.
Man.
Harley is a name that people have.
Right.
North is a direction that people go.
Maybe that's the idea. Maybe they're like, you know.
And if you're going to name her North, you can't combine it with your last name West. You can't put two directions in one name. That's in the Bible. The Lord saith, thou shalt not name your child after direction if a direction already presenteth itself. Corinthians 17:01.
8 years of Catholic school. I don't remember
Well,
that
you should have
passage.
paid closer attention. Listen, this child is already fucked, okay? It's a father who's, trust me. And look, what is he still around? Who knows? Who knows whether dad is still around or not? No, really, do you think oh, wait a minute, hold on. Do you think Kanye and Kim are going to get married and it's going to last forever? Fucking be serious. So she's already got that strike against her. And she's got the grandmother, Kris Jenner, who is going to be selling her into white slavery as soon as possible. And then you name her North, which is going to get your ass kicked on the playground. Why do you do that to her?
This kid's going to breathe such fucking rarefied air. It doesn't matter what they call her, man. It's shocking that they went with something fairly low-key like North instead of God West or something like that. Could have been bad. North is actually, and I swear to you, I didn't even see that fucking pun, man. I was just like, wow, that's weird. Northwest. Why would you call it? Now that you explain it, I'm like, oh. But that's like one of those things
why would you name your child after a pun, though? That's what I'm saying. That's just horrible.
It sounds like something you talk about at like 3 a.m. when you're drunk.
Right.
And then like the next day, you're like, yeah, we'd never do that.
No, that's a horrible idea.
Can I share, this is my Kardashian story and where I've learned to like fucking be careful. Or look before I leave. I don't even know. There's some tie-in lesson here. I'm trying to figure it out. My kid was on my podcast last week, an episode of Smodcast. So we're sitting around and I'm just talking to, she's about to be 14 this week. I'm just talking to her about what the average teenager's into and whatnot. And we talk about her taste in music, movies, blah, blah,
You
blah.
kids today.
Kinda.
Yeah.
We eventually get to television. That's where we totally split. Because I'm like, all right, tell them what you watch, what your favorite show is. And she's like, I watch the Kardashians. And I was like, why, kid, why? And she's like, they make me feel smart.
That's the only reason I can let anyone watch the Kardashians for.
But it doesn't end there, dude. She not only, but this is the problem. This is where I was like, no, et tu, Brute. She doesn't just watch the Kardashians. If she watched them on TV, so fucking be it. We're already paying for cable. She downloads the Kardashians from fucking iTunes. So I'm like, that means fucking when you're paying for it, I'm paying for it. So I've been supplying or supporting the Kardashians for the last year and a half.
Wow.
I felt a little like a Judas.
As well you should.
But I also felt like I bought that little kid some baby clothes.
Well, I'm sure North will have her own line of baby clothes within a matter of weeks. She will release it in stores everywhere.
That's the first branded
and a
child
fragrance.
on
Yeah,
Earth.
she'll have a fragrance. She'll have a fragrance as well. North by Northwest will be the name of the fragrance. It'll smell like shitty diapers and...
I would not be surprised if this is the first human being that they try to trademark / copyright.
Yes, exactly.
Like they're branding this kid hard, man.
Just this week, I thought maybe we're going to have a Justin Bieber story, but Justin came through for us in the final hour. God bless him.
Justin Bieber. Nobody fucking needs ya. Wanna know why? I'll tell you why. 'Cause you're a little cunt.
That's right. Bieber has pissed off an entire company, this time a jet airplane company. He was in Miami because he had to be at the NBA Finals game there to watch the Heat play the Spurs because he has to be anywhere there's a camera. He's got to be. So he's in Miami, and he hires a private jet to fly him from Miami to Burbank. The jet was supposed to take off at 11 a.m. Eastern time in Miami. They are there. They're waiting. He calls, says, I'm going to be a little bit late. He shows up. Well, he doesn't show up. 4 hours go by. And the company's there, and they're gassed, and the pilot's there, and the race.
He's paying for it, though, right?
4 hours go by. Well, he's paying for the flight. He's not paying for the waiting time.
What do you mean?
Meaning he pays for the flight that it takes the time to go from when he leaves.
This is a private
Miami.
jet?
Yes.
I disagree. They charge you for all the time on the ground. If you make them wait, you got to pay for all that time.
Good.
It's expensive.
That makes me feel better.
Yeah.
But they would like to get on the air, in the air rather, because they have to go. And the pilot also has a certain amount of duty time, and then he has to check out.
Right.
So
yeah,
he's waiting because he's on the clock, and after a certain amount, his shift is over. Then he's got to split, and they have to bring another pilot out, and it gets very confusing. So they're there, and 4 hours pass, and 3 p.m. rolls around, and there's still no Justin Bieber. And they say, "Why aren't you here yet?" And he says, "Well, I have to go pick up my monkey from West Palm Beach." No, not that monkey.
A new
not
monkey?
The fucking monkey he abandoned in Germany. Not the fucking monkey he put into that Auschwitz of a monkey place.
Auschwitz?
Auschwitz. He's got a new monkey.
He went and replaced.
He's got a new monkey.
Makes
How many
sense.
monkeys does this guy need? He's a monkey hoarder. So he had to pick up his monkey from West Palm Beach, so he hires a helicopter to fly him from the airport in Miami to West Palm Beach to get his monkey.
Okay.
And they're still waiting for him 5 hours later. Still no Bieber, no monkey. And apparently around 9 hours...
I want that on a fucking T-shirt. No Bieber, no monkey.
That's my battle cry. 9 hours after the initial scheduled takeoff, 8 p.m. He finally leaves.
He paid for all that time. I mean, it's not. He didn't. He may have inconvenienced somebody, in as much as the guy was like, "Oh, I would have rather have flown you, dropped you off, and been done." But he paid for all that time.
But what more importantly is the question.
Maybe he's a dick, but he paid for all that time.
But what about his disposable monkey problem? How about that?
That's fucking weird, man.
How about the fact he keeps buying monkeys and then leaving them places?
As much as he's an asshole, who's the asshole who sells him another monkey after like world headlines has him going to Germany and getting his monkey not only taken away, but he's like, "Fuck you, I'm leaving," and he takes off. So who then sells him another monkey?
So you blame monkeys are us, is what you're
Yes.
blaming. That's what your problem is with.
No,
with the underground monkey dealers.
It's just he's a dick, yes, but who helps him out? Is it he who helps, as it says in the Bible, Ralph,
right? Sure,
right
yeah.
next to that other passage. He who helps, verily, Bieber, no monkey.
That's right. Amanda Bynes was in the news this week.
She will pay her fines and drive between the lines. No, you'll never escape from Amanda Bynes.
I would like to respectfully ask Amanda Bynes, because we only have a 2-hour show, to slow the fuck down. Because we're writing just pages and pages of Amanda Bynes, so we could do a whole Amanda Bynes special if we wanted to. She was in Atlantic City, New Jersey this week. She was at a hotel. Who knows why? Maybe she was getting that webbing removed from her eyes or whatever her problem is. But she was in the hot tub by herself, staring intently at her phone, tweeting constantly, and people came up to her and said, "Can I take your picture? You're fucking crazy." And she said, "Yes. But if I don't like the picture, I get to delete it from your phone or camera." So everyone who wanted to take a picture with her had to sit there while she went through your photos and decided whether it was acceptable or not. We've got a picture of her looking at pictures of her in the hot tub. There she is. She would evaluate the photo, and if she liked it, then you would get your camera back. If not, she would delete it. And if she didn't like the photo, I'm pretty sure she'd put it in her ass. I'm not sure, but I think it happened. So she's in the hotel lobby, and there's a guy there with his kids, 56-year-old man named Bobby Cohen, who takes a picture with his iPhone while she's walking through the lobby, and he thinks that's the end of it. Big mistake, Bobby. She lunges at him after he takes the photograph. She catches him taking it and says, "Sir, I need you to delete that. You can't take pictures of me." She insisted that he turn over his iPhone so that she could approve the photograph. Bobby didn't understand the rules, apparently, when it comes to crazy-ass, batshit Amandaville. And so she starts chasing him around the hotel. So he complains to hotel security Because she won't stop pursuing him. He keeps walking away, then running away, and she keeps chasing after him, insisting that he turn over his iPhone to her.
Okay.
Hotel security eventually had to physically remove her from the lobby so she would stop pursuing this man and his iPhone.
That is the stuff of nightmares right there. Chick in a fright wig going, "Give me your phone."
She's been very active on Twitter this week as well. Dr. Drew tweeted about her this week, saying it was time to perhaps leave her alone. She responded with the fact, let me see if I can see the tweet here. "You're ugly," she said about Dr. Drew.
That's her catchphrase, man.
If she has something against you, automatically via Twitter, "You are ugly." "I want you to leave me alone," she said via Twitter. Good point. She also said about Drake. Remember she wanted Drake to murder her vagina?
I remember that, yeah.
Then she said Drake was ugly. I'm guessing because he didn't murder her vagina. I'm guessing that's what the problem was. Now she said she was sorry about what she said about Drake. And she also then tweeted afterwards, "I could never marry a German because I'm Jewish." But why?
Yeah, why is that? Why do you have to be all racist about all the things you're tweeting?
Yeah, Germans are nice.
Yeah, they're very nice. We made Papa music. That was us.
Yeah, chocolate.
Oktoberfest. That was good.
Yeah. And hate.
Holocaust. Yeah, sure. We have a few minor weaknesses.
Working out the kinks.
Working that out.
Meanwhile, here's the thing: we're all suckers because Amanda is faking the whole time. She's making this all up.
Is she? Is she like fucking Uncle Junior on The Sopranos? She's just. We're not sure if she's crazy.
She
or
tweeted
not.
a publicist friend of hers this tweet or this text rather this week that he put up on the internet. We have a shout out. This is their text. "This has all been an act, and you know it. I am an actress. I know what I'm doing," she wrote her publicist friend. "Seriously," he wrote. "I mean, I don't know what drugs were a part of it, and may you also have something mentally wrong. I've got 2 million followers. Now everyone wants me. I am smart and not stupid. Everyone mentions my name. The world loves me," she writes. So the whole thing's an act, man.
That's a filter, man. That's definitely. If you look through one prism, I guess you could draw that same conclusion as she is. But why? Who is the publicist? Her publicist?
No, just a friend.
Why did he fucking make that public?
He was reaching out and saying, "Are you okay?" And she texted that, and he tweeted that because he said he wants the world to know that she's okay.
Well, he just blew her fucking cover, man.
I know. Farrah.
What a dick.
Backdoor teen mom Farrah Abraham's in the news this week as well. I know we don't have a theme for her, but I think we need one.
No.
I think we need one. Look, every week we talk about her.
Let it end.
We don't have one to play. Will you calm the fuck down, you people? I just said we don't have one. Will you fucking listen, for God's sakes?
I say no theme song, dude. Everybody does anal. Why does she get a theme song for it?
Because she's a teen mom, Kevin. She's a role model for other teen moms. She announced this week that she is getting. Well, she got her second breast job. Because she wants to be a restaurateur and she wants to go back to school. Mm-hmm. So an important part of getting a further education is getting triple D tits stapled onto your small frame.
That's what I've been working on all this time, is trying to be a restaurateur. That's why I have these large boobs.
But at least she took In Touch Weekly's photographers into the surgery with her. First, the biggest problem for backdoor teen mom Farrah Abraham was deciding how big to go. You know what it's like when you're trying to weigh a bigger decision in your life. We've got a photo of her in the doctor's office trying to figure out what's going. She's the worst fucking actress in the world. How whorish do I want to be? Do I want to be like triple D whore or double D whore? But she decided to go just with a large D. And she went into the surgery room, and she had the photographers come in with her. And I think we have a photo of her going through the surgery. There she is. I'm just guessing this isn't the first time we've seen Farrah Abraham knocked out from drugs, naked, with some guy's hose in her mouth. I'm assuming this is a situation we're all familiar with.
It's an inhibition tube, right?
Well, sure, if you want to call it that. I would call it a practice cock, but
I think it's so weird, man. Like
potato.
Her whole body's on display. You can see her boobs. You see the marks where they're going to cut into her. She's got the inhibition tube, and she's got a hairnet on.
Yes.
Like, don't fuck with my hair.
That's right. Speaking of the dumb and booby, I enjoy. A lot of people make fun of me, but I enjoy watching the beauty pageants. I like watching them because
I know what this is.
You will watch sometimes the perfect collision of the attempt of cosmetic perfection, and then the failure of the brain perfection. You'll see those two just run into each other like a car crash. And sometimes when it's right, when it's perfect, when it's magical, this kind of stuff happens. This is Miss Utah USA from the Miss USA pageant. If you didn't see it, it was one of my favorite moments on television this week. I had to bring it in. Here she is answering a question from Nene Leakes, which already is insulting that Nene Leakes gets to ask you a question and you have to respond. But here she is asking about women in the workplace, and then Miss Utah's response.
Okay.
A recent report shows that in 40% of American families with children, women are the primary earners, yet they continue to earn less than men. What does this say about society?
I think we can relate this back to education and how we are continuing to try to strive to figure out how to create jobs right now. That is the biggest problem, and I think especially the men are seen as the leaders of this, and so we need to try to figure out how to create education better so that we can solve this problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Utah. Thank you, sweetheart.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Miss Utah. Look, in her defense, we do need to learn how to create education better.
I just didn't know men was in charge of this thing.
Men was in charge of this thing, and we need to create education better. So that... Look at my tits! She should have just said that at one point. Just, look how fucking hot I am.
Edumacation, Ralph. A rare beast in the beauty pageant world. That's Honey Boo Boo Senior right there.
Man, it's good to be hot, because she'll probably do well in life. As long as no one ever asks her a question, she'll be fine.
I like how the audience had her back, too, man.
Yeah,
like, she dropped the ball, and they were just like, go, stupid. It wasn't just a
dumb. They were just chanting for it.
But she just wouldn't stop. It was like a fucking filibuster of duh. She just kept going. She's like, if I keep
saw them
saying
at the
words,
Troubadour, by the way. One of my favorite bands, Filibuster of Dumb. There's a lot of Jersey stuff going on in the news this week. We had Tony Soprano, of course, James Gandolfini, who passed away. We had Atlantic City, where Amanda Bynes was found. And now Wildwood, New Jersey, which for me, in the summertime, me and Wildwood, that is they're two of the same.
You go down the shore.
That's where I used to hang all the time. Wildwood, New Jersey was where I used to go.
With that person, apparently.
With that guy. We'd be down the shore in Wildwood. That's where I would go. And this week, Wildwood, New Jersey passed a ban on guys letting their pants sag and showing your underwear. You can't let your jeans sag down around your hips, and you can't show your underwear. It's a ban on that. You can't do that. Well, you can do it, but then you have to pay the price. And the price may be up to $200 and 40 hours of community service if you wear sagging pants.
You know who put this law into place? Fat people. We hate seeing that saggy pants, and those fucking handlebars and the ridge and shit down to the dick. We don't have that.
While we're talking about pants, your boyfriend Alexander Skarsgård was in the news.
Oh, I just watched. You watched True Blood season premiere?
I have not seen it yet.
He's hotter than ever, man.
You love him.
I would eat a mouthful of that vampire, man. He's a beautiful man, very attractive.
You know, I was thinking as I watched Man of Steel, is that I looked at Henry Cavill, who's just a gorgeous specimen of
well cut,
manhood.
chiseled, all real too.
Yeah. It's like we really need to make this whole guy thing more acceptable.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I'm not gay, but I would like to fuck Henry Cavill. I really would. And I know that's how you feel about Alexander Skarsgård. We need just to have a more relaxed situation so that I can fuck a couple guys and not have people talk about it so much, you know?
Why don't you be the John Glenn of this shit, man? Go first.
Or the Neil Armstrong?
Either one.
Or the Buzz Aldrin, more importantly.
Fuck yeah. The Bud Aldrin.
Hey, I'm Buzz. Alexander Skarsgård says he doesn't mind being nude in front of people on that True Blood show. He's naked a lot on that show.
Yeah, you've seen him a few times.
Here's the reason why. Us Weekly Magazine, he tells, I was 14 the first time I saw my dad wearing pants. He was always naked. He writes about his upbringing.
And his dad is the dude in Thor.
Yeah. Skellen Skarsgård.
Yeah, he's also in Good Will Hunting.
Yeah. He was naked around the house all the time.
My parents did the same thing.
I
My
know. I
parents
was thinking
were
about
always
that when I
naked.
read this. Yeah.
But having seen my parents naked, it made me want to put clothes on people.
You were a rebel.
Yeah, I became a layers man because I was like, nobody needs to see that, man. And fucking porch over your dick and shit like that. But now when I look in the mirror, I do see my naked father. That sounds dirtier than I meant it, but
each and every week, we like to take a look at movies that we know will suck.
Bruckheimer, Schumacher, Michael Bay. They make movies that make you say, oh my god, that's bullshit, what the fuck? They're movies that will suck.
There's people out here singing along with our themes.
they've been great all night long.
Thank you, guys.
It's like a Rocky Horror Picture Show version of the show right there. They've been having a good time.
This was a movie that we said would suck, and now I think might suck less, depending on what happens after the suckage, if that makes any sense. The Highlander was going to be remade. They're going to remake The Highlander.
They can't remake it. There can be only one.
That's right. Sean Connery, Christopher Lambert, of course, in the original. I love Sean Connery as a Spaniard because he's got that Spaniard vibe about him. Yes, of course, I'm from Spain. Yes, paella. Yes. Oh, get me some things that are Spanish. Not for a minute did I buy him as a Spaniard.
You couldn't pull anything?
I kept going to Mexico. I kept pulling my mind. My mind kept going to Mexico.
Spanish peanuts.
Ryan Reynolds was supposed to star in the reboot of Highlander.
Yes.
He has dropped out of that reboot, so we may have all dodged a bullet. We may have spared.
Doesn't mean it's still not going to happen, though.
No, you're right, because it could be, Carrot Top or somebody as Highlander. We don't know. But I know this one will suck. They have just announced the remake of Poltergeist that's going to be happening.
Oh, no. Really?
Yeah. MGM and 20th Century Fox announced this week that they are co-financing and distributing a remake of Poltergeist. It is...
Leave it alone. I think that was the message of Poltergeist.
That's right.
As well.
You moved the headstones, but you didn't move the bodies.
There is peace and serenity in the light.
Caroline, this house is clean. How do you remake that movie? And I've always heard people say, well, the 20-somethings, they don't watch old movies. This movie, doesn't mean anything to them. They need a new Poltergeist. Fuck those people. We have never lived in a world more where all media is accessible to you in so many fucking ways. Do a little work and download Poltergeist or rent Poltergeist or buy Poltergeist and just watch it. It's fine the way it is. I guarantee you the new Poltergeist won't be as good as the old Poltergeist.
It's Tobe Hooper, wasn't it?
Tobe Hooper, yeah.
It is a really fantastic piece. Tobe Hooper under the stewardship of Steven Spielberg.
Right.
So you got a guy who did the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and a guy who did every other movie that wasn't the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
That's right.
And it still holds up, man, to this day. That kid's creepy. The whole thing's fucking creepy. I even like Poltergeist 2. Like the old man.
The old man is a fucking terror, that guy.
I borrowed from that for the imagery for Red State from that guy. I loved him. And he's like, God is in his holy temple.
When he shows up in the back door.
Hello, child.
Oh.
That's creepy. Why would they do? I can't believe Steven Spielberg is going to let that happen.
I don't know if he has a say-so. I wonder if MGM owns it because it looks like they're involved, and Fox is co-financing and producing. It says Sam Raimi is going to be the producer of the thing.
Oh, bad form.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if somebody's going to remake it, it might as well be Sam
But
Raimi involved.
It's not gonna be.
But I mean, that's the thing. Think about it. It's going to happen regardless. At least Sam Raimi's like, fuck it. I'll make sure they don't fuck it up too badly.
But so many iconic moments come from that film that even people who don't know the film know the moment. They're here. For God's sakes, it's a thing. That's still a thing. You can't
Remember
fight
the little
against
lady?
that.
She's like, rush over, children. All are welcome.
Yeah.
I didn't say you had to fuck the little lady. I'm saying that moment was pretty cool.
Yeah. I still, I don't throw a tennis ball into a closet anymore because I'm afraid it's going to come back all covered with slime. I don't know what's going to happen. Smith and I, of course, are dyed-in-the-wool geeks, and so each and every week we have to do a little service to the geek news.
Ralph and Kevin, Ralph and Kevin, Ralph and Kev.
I am not a gamer. I am not proud of that fact. I do not say that with any sort of superiority. I just found myself too fucking busy to play video games. I got enough on my plate with the computer time that I waste and with the television time that I waste, and I have a child and a wife, and they demand a small portion of my time. Fuck.
Why are you getting hostile at the end of the show? It's like you turn on the audience.
I'm just saying, every time I say I'm not a gamer, there's a certain percentage of people say, what the fuck's wrong with you? You don't play video games? Like, as if it's some sort of weakness. So I have to apologize for myself sometimes that I don't play video games.
Disclaimers, if you will.
However, I may have to change that all now, because this week there was a release about the new video game Batman Arkham Origins. Have you heard about that? And PlayStation 3 owners apparently will get 2 exclusive downloadable character downloads that they can put on Batman as the costume. You can have them wear different costumes, and they will be specifically for PS3 owners. They will get these costumes. One of which is Azrael, if you remember from the comic books. Remember when Bane broke Batman's back?
Yeah.
He was the one. Jean-Paul Valley was the one who took over for Batman, and they've got that skin you can put on the character, or the best skin ever on a video game character ever. Can we take a look at the picture of the other Batman that they offer?
It is the buffest Adam West you've ever seen.
That's the real Adam West right there. They used to have to look skinnier on television. That's what they did.
It is
the Batman from 1966, Adam West Batman, will be a choice that you can play this video game with.
It will look absolutely wild, especially in that environment, because he's still got all the purple in that outfit.
I know.
It's going to be fun, but you've never seen, like, there won't be biff, pow when you hit people. You're just going to hit people and shit.
Like the real Adam West does.
Yeah, but then they covered it with biff, pow.
No, I'm talking about Adam in real life. He beats people up everywhere he goes. And by the way, if you're Kanye West and Kim Kardashian, how do you not name your fucking daughter Adam if her last name is West? How do you miss out on that opportunity?
Thank God. That might have been your scanner's moment.
That's
if
right.
they stole your hero's name for your kid, you're like, fuck it.
A lot of Avengers 2 talk this week as well. Joss Whedon has confirmed that Quicksilver and the Scarlet Witch will be characters in Avengers 2.
I'm so fucking in. I was watching this today, too. This movie fucking holds up.
Avengers is a great film.
It really is.
Did a good job.
Very well done.
Yeah. Aaron Taylor Johnson, who plays Kick-Ass in the Kick-Ass movies, apparently in early talks to play Quicksilver in the Avengers 2 movie.
Okay.
So we'll wait and see. No word on who the Scarlet Witch
Wait a
will
second.
be.
Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, like, isn't their father Magneto?
Yeah.
How are they going to explain this? They're not? You think they're going to have winking references to, like, you don't want to meet our father. He's attractive.
I don't know how they're going to work that out.
Yeah. That's
Maybe
weird.
Magneto could still get it up, even he's got some implant or something, and he can still have kids at an old age.
Yeah, but it's just, how are they going to reference? They don't own those characters anymore. Like, Fox owns the X-Men.
Oh, that's right.
Avengers is by Disney,
yeah.
so that's what I'm talking about. Like, they can't reference Magneto unless they get permission from Fox, because Fox has cinematic rights to that aspect of the Marvel Universe. So how do you talk about their father? That's why I think the winking thing comes.
I don't know. Just give Scarlet Witch big tits and no one will notice.
I hope they give her the fucking outfit too, man, with the pointy headpiece.
I hope they go for that. The best news for Avengers fans is that Robert Downey Jr. signed this week to come back as Iron Man. Not only for Avengers 2, but Avengers 3 as well.
Yay.
However, he said the new agreement does not include a fourth standalone Iron Man film, so we may never see one of those again, starring Robert Downey Jr.
I
He
hope they
said
bring
he's
back-
not going to do a fourth one because a 1.5-year-old kid didn't know who he was.
Oh, that little...
He blames that little kid. He blames the kid.
I want him to bring back, whatchamacallit, Sam Rockwell. He was in 2 as Justin Hammer.
Yeah, he was great.
And he was like, at the end, he was just like, you'll be hearing from me. But he was so damn good in that movie.
He's
I hope
good in
they weave
everything.
him back in.
Spider-Man 2 news. They've already scheduled a third and fourth film in the franchise.
That was fast.
2016, 2018, we're going to get the third and fourth films. They're currently filming Spider-Man 2 as we speak, and they just cut the Mary Jane character from that film.
What?
Shailene Woodley, the actress from Secret Life of the American Teenager and The Descendants.
Was going to be?
She was going to be Mary Jane Watson. They have cut her role from the film. She shot the role, and then they cut it from the film.
I'm going to assume that it has everything to do with the story and not the performance.
That's what Mark Webb, the director,
Yeah.
said. He said, we're trying to focus on Peter and Gwen's relationship, and so we
Really
really
smart.
didn't have room for another character. She'll come into the third and fourth films. However, they're saying that they may recast by the time they get to those films. So this actress is fucked.
Yeah, well, that's a bummer, man.
Gene Roddenberry, who created Star Trek, he's gone into space. His ashes, he's dead, but I didn't kill him. Gene, his wife, Majel Barrett, who played Christine Chapel, Nurse Chapel on that show, and Scotty Doohan, their ashes are going to be shot into space. They've all been to space before, again, as ashes. But they came back into the atmosphere. They burned back in upon re-entry. This time they're putting them in a special spaceship with a solar sail that will take them out beyond Earth's atmosphere.
Where no man has ever gone before?
Yes.
Aw, that's sweet.
And then that craft will circle the sun and will never come back again to Earth. So their final resting place will be in space.
And they're going to slingshot around the sun like they did in 4.
Go back in time and
come back with whales.
Captain, there'll be whales here.
Oh, I thought they were on fucking the Star Trek crew was trapped on fucking It's a Small World, man.
This is a heartwarming story. This hospital in Sao Paulo, Brazil, teamed up with Warner Brothers to create a encouraging, soothing atmosphere for kids who are going through cancer.
Okay.
They turned their children's ward into the Hall of Justice for the Justice League.
Oh.
Did you hear about this?
This makes me want to get sick. That is adorable.
And all the chemotherapy for these kids with cancer,
Yeah.
they have couched it in superhero wrappings. So they tell the kids, this isn't medicine. This is just you getting your superpowers replenished.
Oh.
And they give them the chemotherapy couched in their favorite superhero, basically. Here's a picture of how it comes now when the kids see it. They get to pick which one they want. And they give them their superhero medicine.
Such a small thing, but makes all the
They
difference.
say it makes all the difference. The attitude the kids have been going into chemotherapy, which I can imagine if you're a child is just terrifying,
Yeah.
versus something like you're going to get, shot with superhero juice, which is something Adam West used to do to me when I was a small boy. I took it gladly. But that's such a cool thing. And Brazil was the first company to do it, team up with Warner Brothers. I think all children's hospitals should do this.
Especially if you're going to sit there, it's a long time. Make it a little fun for them, except just get ready to answer questions when they're like, what the fuck happened?
Why not have superpowers?
Yeah, what the fuck, man? The cat scratched.
And what happens if a kid says, I don't like superheroes? I'm just saying, you can't have something for every, you can't have fucking strawberry shortcake chemo, and you can't have every character chemo.
I just couldn't conceive of a world where some kid was like, I don't
I
like
know you
heroes.
couldn't. Remember the Minnesota guy who found the Action Comics #1 in the walls of
wall.
that house that he was making? This fucker. He was tearing out the 75-year-old house. He's tearing out the insulation, and he found inside the insulation of the walls a Action Comics #1, first appearance of Superman. And he sold it at auction for $175,000. It was just in the wall.
Okay.
So he goes back to work that week. This fucking guy. And he's tearing down the walls, and he finds Superman #4 in the walls. Same house, same guy. He finds another rare Superman comic in the walls.
It's kind of cute, man. That's if he could keep going, he could build a whole collection.
Who owned this house, and who are they stuffing their walls with the comic books? What kind of sick fuck owned this house beforehand?
Maybe they were scared, man. Somebody was coming for them. Like, put them in the walls.
Yeah. Here's the cover of Superman for us. What it looks like. This is it is the second appearance of Lex Luthor in this comic book. The first ever mention of the Daily Planet. So it's a highly prized collectible.
What kind of condition was it in?
Shitty. But even in shitty condition, they said it could pull up to $5,000. So just start tearing your shit apart, people. That's the moral of the story. Go home, get an axe, and just tear down your fucking walls. Every one of them.
If they opened up my childhood walls, it'd be all Hustler, Penthouse.
Crusty sweat socks.
Yeah. Generations of dead children.
And lastly, the Lone Ranger's in the news this week. Armie Hammer, who plays the masked man in the upcoming feature film, did an interview with Elle magazine talking about his relationships. They want to know, how does the Lone Ranger fuck, basically. It's what they were asking. And he said he's married now, but he had a lot of crazy relationships when he was young. Because look at the guy, Armie Hammer. Here's another guy, by the way. Once he becomes cool to, blow guys, put me in line. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That Armie Hammer, he's a good-looking dude. He said he dated one girl. Here, let me quote from him. One chick tried to stab me when we were having sex, he said.
I thought that was his job.
She said to me, true love leaves scars and you don't have any. And then she pulled out a butcher knife and tried to stab me with it.
Oh, my God.
Of course, I promptly broke up with her 7 months later. A girl who's that crazy who's going to murder you during sex is just the best fuck you've ever had, I guarantee you.
Really?
Yeah. I was threatened with a knife point once by a girl. On my birthday
sex?
That I was having. No, I didn't. I wasn't in the middle of sex. Armie Hammer gets all the breaks.
For you, it was after the sex. She's like, you son of a bitch! I didn't come!
How dare you, sir?
Your big balls were in the way.
Speaking of big things, each and every week we like to close out the show with a look at just how big is the member of Liam Neeson.
Oh, we can't help but wonder how big is Liam Neeson's cock.
You kind folks keep going each and every week to NeesonCock.com to enter your own facts about the size of Liam Neeson's cock. This is this week's compilation of the best of those facts. Liam Neeson's cock is so big.
How big is it?
Amanda Bynes called it beautiful on Twitter. It's unheard of. Liam Neeson's cock is so big.
How big is it?
It was once chased into the hills by a mob of angry villagers bearing flaming torches and pitchforks. Liam Neeson's cock is so big.
How big is it?
It can leave Scientology anytime it wants. That is fucking big.
That's powerful. Big and powerful.
Nobody gets that.
Yeah, man.
Liam Neeson's cock is so big.
How big is it?
That days before he ejaculates, thousands of animals flee the surrounding area. They have a sense about these things. Liam Neeson's cock is so big.
How big is it?
Liam got an erection and killed off most of the characters in Game of Thrones. I had no idea that was the cause. Liam Neeson's cock is so big.
How big is it?
Before Liam visited Arizona, it was known as the Grand Hymen. Grand Canyon. Yeah, they're going down. Liam. I'm laughing about the one that's coming up. I'm sorry. This one made me laugh so hard. Now I've set it up too much. Now you're going to be disappointed. Fuck it. Liam Neeson's cock is so big.
How big is it?
When he fucks Mary-Kate Olsen, Ashley's ribs hurt.
That may be the smartest fucking version of a Liam Neeson's cock joke I ever heard.
We may just want to say goodnight on that one, I think.
Almost. That's pretty damn powerful.
Liam Neeson's cock is so big.
How big is it?
You can fit all the names of Taylor Swift's ex-boyfriends on it. Liam Neeson's cock is so big.
How
When he was circumcised, onions cried.
That's one for Grandma, man.
Good batch this week. And lastly, Liam Neeson's cock is so big.
How big is it?
Superman had no choice but to kill it to save all mankind.
Ladies and gentlemen of Hollywood, have you had a good time this evening?
As always, thank you so much for coming out tonight. We truly appreciate it.
Give it up for the amazing host of Hollywood Babble-On, Mr. Ralph Garman.
And my good friend and co-host, Mr. Kevin Smith.
And that is Hollywood Babble-On for this week. I'm Kevin Smith.
I'm Ralph Garman.
Babble the fuck off. Good night, Hollywood.